Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Welcome to the Did You Know Show. The Did You Know Show is centered around connecting people to home, community, and business resources that you ordinarily wouldn't know about. Today we're featuring the show at the Overbrook School for the Blind. I have a very warm spot in my heart for the Overbrook School for the Blind, as my daughter attended their early intervention program some many moons ago. But today we're featuring Overbrook School for the Blind on their beautiful campus in the West Philadelphia section of Philadelphia. With me here we have Todd Reeves, the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director at OSB. Todd Reeves.
Well, thank you for having us, and very much appreciate you being here to shine a light on the good things that are happening at the Overbrook School for the Blind.
So Todd, you just wrapped up your rookie year at Overbrook School for the Blind. What are some of your reflections as you look back on year one?
Well, I think one of the elements of Overbrook that really strikes me the most in terms of the last year were the many stories and the many instances in which there are examples of students that are really empowered, that are active in their education, that want to do well and want to be engaged. And that really drives, I think, moving forward in terms of Overbrook, what we see in the future, to really capitalize upon that kind of student energy that exists and their interest in achievement, their interest in being successful in the world.
You know, as I walk around to this school, I have a warm history with Overbrook School for the Blind. There's always something, every time I come here, I learn something new. And anyway, if I could just speak, you know, from a personal experience as a parent of a student that went here, you know, the instructional excellence, the student achievement, and, you know, providing students with opportunities that far exceed the median. Because of my relationship with Overbrook School for the Blind, they were able to connect us to resources through the Delaware Valley of Lower Vision that ultimately gave my daughter an academic scholarship to go to college.
That's fantastic.
So when I tell you, audience, viewers, I love Overbrook School for the Blind. Todd, I understand the Overbrook School for the Blind is embarking on some innovative students.
Yeah, there are some social enterprises that we are not only in the planning stages of, but we're beginning the implementation stages. And when we talk about social enterprises, what we're really saying is types of initiatives that implement student learning and student engagement in the process of some sort of business-oriented enterprise. So one of the examples is engaging our students in the hospitality industry. And we're going to do that, hopefully do that, by repurposing to a certain degree a house that has been owned by the Overbrook School for the Blind and actually borders the campus. And it has been used in the past for short-term housing for interns, for student teachers, for guests of the school. And in many of the same respects, we're going to use it in the same capacity, but we're going to modify it so that students can be engaged in the housekeeping, the marketing, the reservations for kind of short-term hospitality, much like a bed and breakfast. And it'll have a dual purpose in that we're going to really remodel the first floor so that we offer it, again, for an additional benefit in a social atmosphere in the context of making sure that any child, any son, any daughter of a family, no matter what their challenges physically, that they can find a place that's accessible to them, so that if they need to be lifted from a bed in a sling and transferred to an accessible shower, which you typically never see in the context of any opportunities that families with children with those levels of physical disabilities have opportunities for, we want to create that opportunity here. So we want our students to be engaged in the kind of business aspects of the hospitality industry, and we want to kind of revolutionize in a small way the hospitality industry to make it available to children who have substantial challenges that their families would otherwise have to look for respite care for their child when they would go off on a vacation.
Wow. I understand the Overbrook School for the Blind has an itinerant teaching program. What is that and how does it work?
Itinerant teachers are actually the most common form of delivery for instruction to children who are blind or visually impaired in the public schools. And that basically means that a trained teacher of the visually impaired or a certified orientation mobility specialist would visit the student in the school that they're located in and provide services right there in the school. Now, for our enrolled students, their exposure to the teacher of the visually impaired and the certified orientation mobility specialist, as well as other related service providers like occupational therapists, speech-language pathologists, physical therapists, school psychologists are provided here on campus. But we have an itinerant model for those students that are in the public schools, but their school district may not have the opportunity to find that teacher of the visually impaired or that certificated orientation mobility specialist for that 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours during the week that the student needs it. We provide those services on a contract basis with charter schools as well as school districts for that purpose.
Wow. If you're just tuned in to the show, I'm sitting here, I'm talking with Todd Reeves, who is the Executive Director and Chief Executive Operating Officer at the Overbrook School for the Blind. Todd, you know, Always Best Care was thrilled to play a role in this year's 5th annual Overbrook Experience that has passed on. What does the event mean to the school community?
Well, the Overbrook Experience is one of a number of different activities that tries to engage the philanthropic community. And when I say the philanthropic community, what I'm really saying are just friends of the school, friends of our students that give of themselves, whether it's their resources, their money, their time, to have a beneficial impact on our students. We receive, and we're very fortunate to receive, a state appropriation.
Oh, wow.
And then the school districts pay a certain portion of the tuition for our students. And so we're very fortunate to have those partnerships in school districts and the Pennsylvania Department of Education. But the resources that we obtain from the public revenue stream isn't sufficient for us to be able to provide the services and the environment by which we think our students deserve in order for them to really tap their heads on the ceilings of their potential rather than simply stand on the floor of opportunity. So we rely on fundraising to meet the difference between what we obtain from public revenue stream and really the services that really shine here for our students. And so the Overbrook Experience is one of those galas in which we seek to welcome and honor our friends of the school. And this year it's a very special event. It was a special event in the context that we provided and we minted essentially an inaugural medal, and it's the Genevieve Caulfield Medal of Distinction. So this particular Overbrook Experience, the 5th one, we were very gratified to present to Mr. Jeffrey Marazzo and Dr. Catherine High in their respective leadership roles in Spark Therapeutics for the groundbreaking, really kind of work they're doing in inherited retinal diseases.
Oh, wow.
And we presented them the Genevieve Caulfield Medal of Distinction. And so it's very apropos that we presented them this award because Genevieve Caulfield was an alumna of the school. She was an alumna of the Overbrook School for the Blind, and she was one of the first recipients of the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her groundbreaking, pioneering work in establishing a school for the blind in Thailand.
Oh, wow.
So we were very fortunate. We feel it was a wonderful opportunity to recognize pioneers in the field of retinal research and the application of therapies in honor of an alumna who was in herself a pioneer. And we believe that by honoring her, it reminds us of our legacy, reminds us to be pioneers going forward.
Right.
And it really goes to the mainstream of why people that give of their, donate to the school and participate in the philanthropic causes that we participate in ourselves, why they're so critical to the student success. Because when I talked about that public revenue stream, that's to provide the services, that's to provide the personnel, the education. We don't receive a dollar to maintain the buildings, to construct the buildings. And so for the first 4 years of the Overbrook experience, that went into, collected and went into the design of the M. Christine Murphy Horticulture Education Center.
Okay.
And it will not only broke ground, but we will cut the ribbon on that this year. And truly, the funds that were derived from the Overbrook experience, in both literal and figurative sense, form the framework upon which our students will now be able to fully access kind of a horticulture environmental education center, and which they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do. And so we're grateful for our people that participate in the success of our students through their own giving.
So if you missed the Overbrook experience, there is still time to donate. You can look at the bottom of the screen. You can go to obs.org, or you can just contact the school if you want to make a charitable donation. Overbrook School for the Blind, I'm willing to bet that a lot of people didn't know all of what goes on at 63rd and Malvern. It is a school of a lot of different resources, and it's a lot of different positive energy, and a lot of different enrichment and uplifting teachers that really stay here a long time. So stay tuned. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to take a tour of the Overbrook School for the Blind and visit some of the classrooms. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Did you know?
Brian, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Kiara Giacchetti. She's here in the pre-vocational classroom with her elementary classroom.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
All right. So what exactly do you guys do over here?
In Prevoke?
In Prevoke, yes.
That's more of a question for Miss Beth Ann. She's the Prevoke teacher.
Okay.
Sorry to put you
That's
on the spot.
okay. I'm Miss Beth Ann, and this is our Prevoke class. with the elementary, middle school, and our high school kids come over.
Okay.
And we do jobs to get them ready to hopefully someday work out in the community. So we do practice jobs as far as sharpening pencils, we do nailing. What Jake is working on today is we're going to be handing out free scrapbook paper for some teachers or aides that if they need to work on that. And we do laminating and shredding, and we also have the school store here.
Oh, wow.
And we do a lot. We do an awful lot of things going on there.
So what
we
is...
have a balloons that staff come and purchase balloons for the kids' birthdays and so on.
Oh, Balloons Are Us. So what are some of the success stories over here?
Well, some of our success stories are having with our little student here is going to do with Miss Sam is she teaches them how to go out and do a delivery. So we did a laminating job earlier today.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, Nima is going to go out into Overbrook and make a delivery, and hopefully someday that she will be doing it independently.
Well, right on. Well, maybe you never know. You might better get a job at Always Best Care. And so you work at Overbrook School for the Blind because why?
Because I started when I was in high school and I never left. I've been here 35 years.
Wow.
And it's so dear to my heart, and I love working with the kids and seeing all the things that have gone on, wonderful things here at Overbrook.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret too. My connection with the school is that my daughter went here about 23 years ago, and she started out in the early intervention program. And so the small success story is that she, because of our relationship with the school, they were able to turn us on to some scholarships, and she got a full academic scholarship to Boston University.
Oh, wow.
Right, and she graduated 3 years ago, and now she works for me.
That is a success story.
Yes, it is a success story. Well, thank you for having us in your class. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
All right.
It might be.
Brent, I'd like
You gotta
to
decide
introduce
which
you
one.
to Ms. Eva Worsley and her high school classroom.
Hi, how's it
How
going?
you doing?
Hello.
Good. Thank you for having us.
These are both.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
What's happening?
We're doing math.
You doing math? Okay. All right. So Eva, what are some of your favorite features in this classroom?
Probably my favorite features are how easy it is to customize different stations for our students.
Okay.
So everyone kind of has their own needs based on their visual impairment, and we're able to set stations up based on that with all the tech that they need to access print and to complete assignments, stuff like that.
Okay. What are you guys working on now exactly? You're working on math, but what else? Go ahead.
We're working on saying what could be our wants, what could be our needs, that involves math, with money and stuff that's along those lines.
And what is your name?
My name is Angela.
Hi, Angela. I'm Brian.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Right on.
How's your maybe pile? How's your maybe pile? Only 3, not so bad.
Oh, so they have Braille on these too. So you mind if I touch it?
I don't mind. We don't mind at all.
All right. So tell me what this says. Is it right here?
This.
Yeah.
This. Oh, we gotta turn that around. It's. Wait, maybe it's right. It's
You're right, Angela. You had it lined up with the
iPad.
iPad. Okay.
And that and the TV are both wants.
I get it. What's your name?
Ethan.
Hi, Ethan. I'm Brian.
Hi.
What do you think?
You have him
So, Eva, what are some of the success stories of this class?
So I think almost everyone in this room probably has a similar success story. All of these kids have sort of hit a point where they're starting to take on a lot more independence at home and socially and in the classroom. And it's no longer Miss Kendall and I identifying what they need to be successful, but they're coming to us every day and they'll say, hey, I want to do this. How can we make it happen?
Okay.
And so that's been some of the best part about teaching high school, at least, is that they're starting to take more initiative in their own learning. Yeah.
Milk.
So let's look at the second. Where's the H?
What is this instrument right here?
That's That's a braille.
That's right there.
Oh,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's an H. So what comes after that? What dot is it?
Looks like a
Well, so what dot position is it?
really
Is it
nice.
1 or is it 2?
So how long are the class periods?
So is it 2 and A?
I'd say about.
What is it?
How long is your class period?
A. So
Wait, how long?
Is it an hour, 2 hours,
good. Which one?
3 hours, all day?
All day?
Like
45 minutes.
45 minutes? Okay. Okay, each class is 45 minutes? Okay.
around that time, I would say.
Storm the heavens, Philomena. I like that shirt.
Who's getting close?
All right, well, thank you for having us in the
Couple
class.
left.
I'll do the next.
And you are? I'm Bryant.
Oh, hi, I'm Kendall.
Hi, Kendall. How you doing?
All right.
Pleasure to meet you.
2, 5 more.
Nice
Umbrella.
job, students. Thank you.
Nice job.
Thanks for letting us join your class.
Yeah, no problem.
And get this, get a close up on this. Get a close. This is the United States, but it's raised
That's,
so you can feel which states are where. And this is obviously Canada. It's Pennsylvania, Jersey, Virginia,
Yeah, no problem.
Oh,
How's it
wow.
going, this one?
New York.
Rabbit.
Is there a rabbit? You see a rabbit? Make sure you're looking in this basket. Do you see any fruits or vegetables?
Okay.
Can you try to find it on your device?
Yes.
Pumpkin.
Good job. Nice work.
How you doing? So I noticed that you're. I'm Brian. How you
Hi,
doing?
I'm Sarah.
How you doing? My daughter went to this school some years ago. And anyway, we're doing a piece on Overbrook School for the Blind, and we're just really watching your class and just trying to understand, what's going on.
Oh, okay.
So this is a voice device.
Yep, this is a communication device. So many of the students in this classroom use it. So we have, this is the accent. 2 of our other students use the Dynavox, and Joe uses a mixture of picture communication, sign language, and his voice. So, yeah.
What do you like most about teaching at Overbrook School for the Blind?
Well, I always like to.
Hi.
I've always liked to.
She's saying hi.
Yeah, it's definitely the students and the staff.
Okay.
Seeing their progress throughout the year is really great. So.
All right. Well, we won't disturb you too much longer. Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Hi, guys.
Hi. How you doing? Hi. What's happening?
Hello.
All right.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, Joe. I like that shirt. The Sixers, right on.
Sixers fan. Being true to his team.
Right on. Well, you guys have a great day.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so
Thank you
much.
for coming into our classroom.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Flexibility.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sarah.
Thanks.
Bye.
Say bye. Say goodbye, Joe. Turn around.
All right.
Say bye. Look. Say bye. Yeah.
Okay, Ty, we're in the Husky Cafe.
Absolutely.
So who runs the Husky Cafe? What is it all about? This is.
I'm Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. What goes on in the Husky Cafe?
We sell for student and staff.
Okay.
And we sell hot dogs,
Popcorn looks like.
popcorn.
Here's the menu.
Here's the menu of what we sell. And people, we also do delivery and like make it to every classroom, whoever call.
Okay.
And it's all about like also communicating with other
People's at the school?
Yeah.
So you're open, so you guys just closed and you cleaned up, is that right?
Yeah, we cleaning up at this moment.
So when you clean up, what happens when you clean up?
We put everything away. I just finished counting the money.
Okay.
And
Can I ask Thomas? Thomas, what do you do?
Today I did food orders and deliveries.
How many deliveries did you do? Who else is talking?
2.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Sean Barrett.
Hi, Sean. What do you do in the Husky Cafe?
I do.
Did you do food retrieving today?
Yes.
Food retrieving.
And I did technology.
Technology. Okay, right on. Mr. Star Wars, with the Star Wars shirt, what do you do for the Husky?
Like hot stuff. Smoothies.
Okay.
And popcorn.
Okay, and what's your name?
Tim.
Tim, how you doing? Tim and Bryant. And so who leads the Husky Cafe? Miss Andrea? The team?
Yeah.
The team, right on. All right.
It's run by the students.
It's run by the students. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You did a good job, Tim. Thank you.
Tim.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Have a good day.
You too. Oh, you too. You have a good day.
Thank you. Nice too.
Have a good day. Oh, thank you. You like it? Oh, I like his shirt.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you.
You like mine?
I like his shirt. I have one. I have a Star Wars shirt.
Captain America. Kind of like this?
I don't have a Captain America, but I got Spider-Man.
Speaking of that, guess what?
What?
I'm the captain of my school swim team here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're going to check out the pool before we leave.
I believe that.
All right. All right. You guys have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you, Miss Andrea.
Thank you.
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. I am sitting here on the lovely campus of the Overbrook School for the Blind with 3 dynamic leaders at the Overbrook School for the Blind. We have Jackie, Lynn, and Todd sitting here, and let's just get right to it. Let's not waste any time. So, Todd, what are OSB's on-campus offerings?
Well, we offer a very diverse, very broad menu of services to our students who from age 3 to 21. And they're very broad and diverse services because we have a very broad and diverse student population. We look not only at what their needs are right now and determine what are the services and programs necessary to meet their needs in the present day, but we also look to what their dreams are in the future, what they see for themselves once they leave Overbrook, whether they're age 3 right now or whether they're age 18. And then we develop our programs to see that those dreams can come true. So, for example, one of the programs we offer that I think is incredibly innovative, that credit to people to my right and others that really birthed it from conception to implementation, is a vocational kind of independent training program that is a residential program, not only just for students that live outside of a commuting distance of the school, but those that are within commuting distance, but they need independent living skills. They need to know what it feels like independently themselves to feel comfortable in an apartment living arrangement.
Oh, wow.
While during the day, they're learning the kinds of vocational training skills they need to be a successful employee. So it's that kind of programming, and I think it's very innovative, and many students don't have the opportunity to participate in, especially students who are blind or visually impaired. And that's just one example. The people to my right, they can list out so many others.
So Jackie, how does a student enroll at Overbrook School for the Blind?
The school district send us the referral, so a parent needs to contact their school district and let them know that they're interested in having their child attend Overbrook School for the Blind. The district sends us a referral, and then we meet with the family and the student to find out what their needs are educationally, what we can do, and then hopefully we get them in the door as quickly as possible.
And I can tell you many moons ago that experience is not painful. As a parent of a child that went to Overbrook School for the Blind's early intervention program, you guys are very centered and you're very practical too. Todd, how does a family have to pay in tuition for the OSP?
No family pays any tuition. This is at no cost to parents. And that's one of the things that's somewhat confusing about the status of our school, because many parents learn of our school and they see that it's a private nonprofit school. And the first thing that parents think of is when they look at private school, they think of tuition. And the reality is we partner with local school districts to provide the educational services that perhaps a local school district can't marshal solely within their own resources. And so they authorize us really to serve the students at no cost to the parent, just as any other parent that would access education through the school district. Now students are sent here and we provide the kinds of services that wrap around that student, really great services at no cost to parents.
Wow. So Lynn, you and I have a good history.
Yes, we do.
Right on. So what is Overbrook School for the Blind's early intervention outreach program?
The Early Intervention Outreach Program is a program where we service children from birth to 3, babies and their families. And our focus really is to, get into the homes and to work with the families as far as how their children's visual impairments may impact their ability to just be a part of the regular family activities that they do. We share with the families how and model for them how they can incorporate some of the strategies that are necessary, to work with the children or the babies that have visual impairments. And then by modeling and coaching them through it, they then are in turn able to do those things, when we're not there, because they're truly the daily folks who, being parents working with the babies all the time, as opposed to when we just go in maybe once or twice a week, depending on the needs of the babies.
What are the goals of the early intervention outreach program?
There's 3 goals.
Okay.
I think the first goal is obviously to get in and see what's happening with the babies and, what their strengths and needs are, and play with the babies. And then just to get a handle on what's happening with the vision. The second goal for us is really to, as I said, to explain to the families in a way that they can understand what's happening with their child's vision and how it impacts what they do. And then what we can do in turn, along with the families, to be able to help them do that. We also, our third goal is to provide a community for the families, and provide additional support and networking by bringing them in on campus. We have activities on campus that they're included in or invited to. We also will have activities out in their local communities so that they have an opportunity to connect with families in their areas that may also have babies, that have visual impairments. Support is really important. Nobody wants to feel alone out there, dealing with whatever, challenges they may have. So we, really try to foster that. And in turn, what we hope will happen is that those families will be able to be better advocates, you know, for their babies and you know, what their needs might be.
I think if I could just share my experience as a parent that my child, now adult, went through the early intervention program. One of the things, I think one of the hardest things for parents to do is to acknowledge that your child has complex needs, more than what you would say the average child. And so once you do acknowledge that, Overbrook School for the Blind, you know, does it in a way that helps you manifest your dignity and also really, you know, set goals for your child. You know, Jackie and Todd, how does OSB tailor its curriculum to meet the diverse needs of the student body?
Go ahead.
Well, as Todd mentioned, our students are very diverse.
Right.
So they have a lot of diverse needs as well. Our staff does an incredible job in first doing assessments to really determine what the needs are for each student and works with the family to identify what the family's looking for. And then through our interdisciplinary teams and working with therapists and mobility specialists as well, we design an individual program for each student. And the programs incorporate both the Pennsylvania core standards that all students learn, and in addition to that, we teach the expanded core curriculum, which are those specific skills that students and adults need to know for having a visual impairment.
Okay. And then what are the most important factors parents should consider when evaluating the educational opportunities available to their child who is visually impaired?
I think the most important thing to look at when you're looking at an education is expectations for the student. Okay. We want to have sure that everybody has high expectations and that the staff that would be working with your child would really be expecting that the student would achieve and work towards an independent life. And that really looking at not the bare minimum for education, not just it's okay to get by, but really an excellent education where the students are going to thrive.
Wow. We've heard quite a bit about the instructional excellence today. What does that mean to all of you?
Well, from my vantage point, I think that instructional excellence is one half of the calculus of not only a highly performing school, but a successful school for the purposes of serving students. And instructional excellence is really taking responsibility for the teaching component of the relationship between teaching and learning. And so I'm very proud of the staff here because I feel to the depth of my heart that the staff here for many years, long before I arrived a year ago, taken responsibility to be excellent in the delivery of instruction and the delivery of therapy, that they invest in our students, they invest in their outcomes. And I'm equally proud, actually more so, in what I consider to be the breadth of our students taking responsibility for their learning. You know, when I think about this particular environment as compared to many other great educational environments I've had the honor to serve in, what distinguishes this school, in my view, came to me during graduation last year, in which every single one of our students went to the podium and spoke their truth in terms of what they felt in relationship to their education here at Overbrook. It just wasn't one or two students going to the podium. And what struck me right at that moment was that our students have a voice.
Okay.
They do not sit in the corner of a classroom.
Okay.
Shy, reserved, waiting for somebody who's kind to do something for them, something good. Right. They take responsibility for their learning, and they're very achievement-oriented. You know? So I think it's a beautiful thing about the school.
And so we're winding down before this break, but I want to ask a question. What counties do you guys serve? You obviously are in Philadelphia, but do you service the surrounding counties?
We service the surrounding counties, and we even, for some of the older students, have residential options, so we can service Harrisburg, Scranton, Eastern Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lynn, one more question about the early intervention program. How many families are involved in it?
Well, because our babies transition out when they're 3, it's an ongoing enrollment for us when it comes to that. So we've served anywhere between 150 to 180 babies in a year, it's you know, the number is ever changing depending on what's happening in any part of the tri-state area. But Yeah.
One last question before we take a break. If a viewer is watching or a family raising an infant with visual impairment, what is the best way for them to contact Overbrook School for the Blind?
Well, if it's a baby, they can always call here to our early intervention office, and our early intervention coordinator would be DeRay Delp-Ducret.
Okay.
And the number here is 215-877-0313, extension 369 for her.
All right.
And surely, if you leave her a message, I promise we're good at getting back to you. You know?
So that was for early intervention. For school-age children?
For school-age children, they would use the same phone number, 215-877-0313, and then contact Rhonda Krettel at extension 384, and she can direct you to the right individual for it, depending on the age of the program. And if it's for itinerant services in the community, again, it would be to Lynn Williams at extension 251.
So viewers, if you're looking at the bottom of the screen, the main number for the Overbrook School for the Blind is 215-877-0313, and I believe the website is obs.org, which is also at the bottom of your screen. Okay, stay tuned. We got to take a break. We got to pay some bills. And we'll be right back, and we're going to continue our conversation with Carolyn Wallace and her son Xavier, who actually attends the school. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
And they're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. We're here still at the Overbrook School for the Blind, and we're sitting here talking with parent Carol Wallace and her son Xavier Wallace. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
Good, thank you.
Carol, how did you first find out about Overbrook School for the Blind?
Xavier was diagnosed with having a visual impairment 6 months. So a social worker came out to the home. She assessed his situation and said Overbrook would be a good fit. So a phone call was made, and I talked to Lynn.
Ha!
She was excellent.
She is excellent.
Yes, and then we had a teacher come out 0 to 3.
Mm-hmm.
She came out maybe twice a week. We had occupational therapy, physical therapy, orientation, and mobility in the home for 3 years.
As
so,
we did.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was a great experience. It was wonderful.
I shared that experience with you. Bria had her OT come out. So Bria was diagnosed with albinism, and then, being legally blind, at the bottom of her scale. And we used to go to the Eye Institute. And we used to do a program. So shout out to Marcy Grayboys, who's a retired social worker now.
Okay.
And then Marianne Roberto was her OT, her occupational therapist. They used to come up, and then at that point we lived in Bucks County. We lived in Bensalem. And so my story at that point was, this is Overbrook School for the Blind. Growing up in West Philadelphia, rode past here all the time, right? And rode past this place all the time and never really even gave it a second look until, you have a child with visual, complex needs. And so that's, we landed here too. What are some of the key takeaways when you were involved with the early intervention program?
His teacher was wonderful. She came out. She did a couple of things with Xavier. She gave me a lot of tools, a lot of takeaways to help him get around, to deal with his developmental delays. It was just wonderful. The support that Overbrook gives you is second to none. But I think the part that hit me is when I had to put him on the bus at 3, because he comes here at 3.
Okay.
I'm like, am I putting a 3-year-old on a bus?
Right.
To a school that has walls? But behind these walls is a great, great school.
I say it too. I'm a part of Overbrook School for the Blind's board, but we also participate in the different events that they have throughout the course of the year. The pancake breakfast.
Yes. Yes.
And then you're a part of the Lions Club.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me about it. Tell me about the Lions Club.
I'm currently the president of the Philadelphia Filipino American Lions Club. We service Overbrook School for the Blind. Our major thrust is helping people with visual impairment, those in need. We go to homeless shelters. We feed the homeless. We collect eyeglasses that are refurbished, and then we give them out in the community, and then they go across internationally. Sometimes we send it to the Philippines for those people that may need glasses. But the Lions Club really support Overbrook School. They do the pancake breakfast. We partner with the school on many arenas. We give back when we have a golf outing. We give back through donations. Whatever they need us for, we're there.
So Xavier, what is your favorite class at Overbrook School for the Blind?
Choir.
Choir, okay. All right. And what is your favorite activity outside of class?
Swimming with a lot of people.
Swimming with a lot of people? Who's your favorite teacher here at the Overbrook School for the Blind? Tell the truth.
I was like Miss getting into the classroom, but
Your classroom teacher is your favorite?
But mostly my favorite gym teacher is Mr. Joe.
Mr. Joe, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
And actually, I was in the flex room with him.
Okay.
All right.
It's funny because he's been in the choir since elementary, and he's been singing all the Christmas and the spring concerts.
And I come to them. I was just at the last concert. I was here. I seen you up there singing in the alto section. Which section are you in? The alto or the soprano or tenor? Do you know? Do you know what section you're in?
I'm close to the alto, I'm close to the left part.
Mm-hmm. I thought so. My ears are still working. The ears are still working. So, Carol, what would you tell? I know that when I deal with people of all different spectrums, but I can't say enough good things about Overbrook School for the Blind. One of my latest stories that I shared earlier in the show was, when I was just starting the business of Always Best Care, as a result of being laid off, capital was tight, money was tight. And so Bria was about to graduate from high school, and we reconnected with the school at that time. Well, Bria, unbeknownst to me, my mother and Adrian's mother, my ex's mother, Bria's mother, my grandmother were always connected to the school. And anyway, as Bria was filling out the common applications for college, she somehow or another reconnected with the Delaware Valley of Lower Vision through OSB.
Okay.
And they opened up a resource for a scholarship, which Bria got. I mean, so I tell all parents, don't overlook anything. My motto is, people laugh at me, I don't turn down nothing but my collar on so many different levels. But as a resource, one of the things I remember as a parent was Overbrook School for the Blind, saying, okay, you can try to mainstream school Brea. And it was a really heavy conversation for the family, because some people said, well, no, don't do it. Some families said, don't do it. Some families said, no, go ahead and take it. But for me, we did try, and there were a lot of challenges, with bullying. Your child's different. Nobody wants to see their child get bullied or be ostracized or be different, and that was something that, and you don't just necessarily have to be legally blind or have albinism to be teased.
Right.
And it's interesting now, in this life, in this season, there's a lot of senior bullying too. That's another show.
Yeah.
But what do you hope in terms of resources, and what is your passage? Xavier, what do you hope to do after you graduate?
Um.
Have you thought about it a little bit or no?
Yeah, I would like to go on a lot of vacations.
He loves traveling. He loves traveling. He loves to take in different places.
Okay.
He loves that. Second to Overbrook, he loved to go on vacation.
I traveled to Maryland School for the Blind for the swim meet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you guys win?
Oh yeah.
All right.
We were swimming against the Maryland boys.
The Maryland boys.
Yeah.
What do you do? Freestyle?
No, I do breaststroke.
The breaststroke? Okay. All right. Right on. I was a lifeguard for a number of years, just saying.
Wow.
Just saying.
Wow.
I was a lifeguard for a number of years in the city of Philadelphia. Okay, so when you think about Xavier's accomplishments at Overbrook School for the Blind, do any stand out to you, and why?
When I think about Overbrook, I can't give enough gratitude to the entire staff, the teachers, the aides, the security, the people in the dining area, everybody. Everybody is contributing. Everybody has a heart for the kids, and that's what makes Overbrook different and unique. But the technology they have here.
Yep.
The technology is over and above anything I could even think about. Last year, he was introduced to what's the board in your class called?
Smart board?
The smart board.
Which I loved it.
I wanted to get this board because it's really interactive.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what your disability is or limitation, you can work on it. And it's life-size. And he has learned a lot. He has an Alexa at home, and he does Trivial Pursuit on Alexa, and he wins all the time. So he's more of out of his 5 senses to work, his hearing and his smell. He has he's blind, but I think he may have some openings, but for the most part, he can't, he's blind. It's okay, which is fine. But Overbrook maximize everything that he has. They don't just limit what we see. With his IEP, they ensure that we're going to do this, but you know what, let's push him a little bit harder. Let's push him to see if he can do a little bit more. And then we collaborate, we talk, they communicate with me, I communicate with them. His team is great, his therapist is great. The school is just a wonderful school. Behind these walls is a treasure, and I love the school.
Xavier,
and I'm glad he came.
Xavier, what would you tell the viewing audience about Overbrook School for the Blind? What is your favorite thing about Overbrook School, or favorite things about Overbrook School for the Blind?
Last year on Monday, my favorite was definitely being with Mr. Patrick in workshop.
A workshop.
Oh, the workshop, the Justin Bieber workshop?
The workshop is right upstairs.
Okay. Carol, what would you tell parents that are watching? If you had a chance to tell parents that have kids that have additional visual needs or complex needs, what would you tell them in general? And then what would you tell them about the school?
Find out everything, get all the information you can, all the resources that are out there. Read it, understand what your child needs, because I think the primary caregivers understand what their child needs, what they're lacking. And then I would say that the parent group here at Overbrook, is a good support system, is a good resource. They come together because we all have something in common. So I would say that if the parents can take the time to get past the, okay, my son or daughter is not normal, and how can I help my son and daughter be the best that they can be? Utilize, call Overbrook, see how they can help you. If the child can make it into the school, utilize the resources, utilize the staff, because it's a wealth of information, it's a wealth of education, it's a wealth of
outreach.
Outreach, sources, advocacy here to help you and your child. It's trailblazing. You can go and you can get a lot of resources through this school. As a parent, as a caregiver, because as a guardian, this school is really, really resourceful, and it has so much to offer. But you have to ask. Don't just stay home and close your eyes. Ask, because someone's here. They'll talk to you. We all, you felt it. We all feel it. Our child isn't normal, but okay, we understand that. So how do we get past it? How can we make his life or her life the best that it can be?
Right.
So.
Thank you, Carol Wallace and Xavier, Mr. Xavier Wallace, Mr. Swim Team Man, choir, and all this going on. Thank you guys for coming on to the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
No problem. So as we wind down the Did You Know show, it's centered around connecting people to home, community, and business resources that you ordinarily wouldn't know about. Again, Carol and I agree that, both being from Philadelphia, that, you could ride past 63rd and Malvern and not really even know what's going on behind these walls. But behind these walls, you have some of the best teachers, some of the best administrators, and most of the administrators have been here a very long time, which tells you in of itself, they have often committed themselves way above and beyond to the institutional excellence and really, really, really bridging the gap for their students, whether they're K through 12, whether they're early intervention, whether they're post-school and there's a cottage and there's kids that live, there are young adults and adults that live on the campus. You've seen it in the tour that we toured around the campus. I love Overbrook School for the Blind. If you're interested in volunteering or helping, certainly look at the bottom of the screen. You can go to obs.org is what you contact if you want to get in touch with the Overbrook School for the Blind. You can also call at 215-877-0313 and get involved. If you know somebody that has a child with visual needs or complex needs, Overbrook School for the Blind is a wealth of knowledge and resources, and people are committed to making you really, 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 develop your child's developmental needs. Yeah. This is Brian Green. Also, I want to remind you to check me out on WURD on Saturdays at 4 p.m., 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Xavier. All right, see you next time.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
The name Always Best Care has become the most trusted and reliable for in-home senior services. Our caregivers specialize in bringing families and friends closer together and putting smiles in the faces of each and every one of our clients by creating a fun and loving atmosphere. For an in-home healthcare provider that is built on genuine compassion and quality care, look no further than Always Best Care. Hi, I'm Patty Jackson. When I needed help with providing my mother physical and emotional comfort in her time of need, Always Best Care was a godsend. And you can rest assured that they will always be there whenever you call because they care.
They're tried and true. You can trust that they will always take good care of you. Always Best Care.
To schedule an appointment, visit abcphillybristol.com or call 267-909-9248 today.
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.